What's up, everybody? This is your health plan coach, Oscar Quiroga, here with another episode of Expose Your Worth. Today, I talked to one of my network contacts, a good buddy of mine, Kurt McDowell. Kurt McDowell's with McDowell Incentives, and they offer a unique value proposition for businesses. You'll want to check out this episode. Coming up next. Hey, everybody. Welcome for another edition of Expose Your Worth. I'm Oscar, your health plan coach. Today, I've got another network contact, a very good friend of mine, Kurt McDowell. And Kurt is with McDowell Incentives. Kurt, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Good
sir.
to be here.
Yeah, you're here. It's a Friday. And obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about what is it you do and what you offer businesses in the business community. So let's find out a little bit more about your company. How long have you guys been in business? Take it away from there.
Okay. Well, we are our core business is promotional products, which is for the most part anything you can put an imprint on, from a pen to a mug to wearables, shirts, caps. I usually like to describe ourselves as when businesses want to stay top of mind for when their customers are ready to make that buying decision. We have a great medium for actually doing that. So, but we've actually been around. We started in 1993 when I was 4, and I was very entrepreneurial at the time. No, funny story. Actually, I was actually, I was a finance economics major. I was born to be the chairman of the Federal Reserve, right? That's my path. And I was actually working in the mortgage business in Tulsa at the time. Our company was getting ready to be sold. My dad had just turned 50, and he goes, I've been in this industry for 20 years. I'd really like to do my own company and do it my way. Mm-hmm. So could you help me run it, the financial side, and I'll do the sales side, and it'll just be the two of us. We might hire some sales rep later. But I said, well, since I'm getting ready not to have a job in 4 months, might as well start now. So we started in 1993 with 2 clients. Luckily, they were 2 good clients. So they kind of covered our nut for about six to 12 months until we really got a good business base going. But literally, it's funny. I grew up in the business. I swore I would never get into it. having watched my dad get into it. He started in 1971.
Wow.
So I've literally been around it. I remember stuffing bags full of, imprinted bags full of pins and folders and all this kind of stuff for projects that he did all through the 70s and the 80s. So, but what's attractive about it's always been a fun business, and there's fun people that do the business. So both as my suppliers and my competitors even. So it's a very friendly business. And even though there's other ways to market now, we're still a medium that still has staying power. And I've got stories that actually my dad's got a story of somebody who I believe he gave a yardstick in 1976 or 77 to, that tracked him down in the late 90s to do business with him. So if you want to talk about staying power, and that was even 2 companies ago before him that.
Kurt, I was just doing the calculation. Sorry, but you've been in business for 50 years. Is that right?
Well, my father has
the business itself, but you
have
actually taken over, and so that's been a 20 plus year. But business has been cranking for 50 years.
Well, we could put it that way. And actually, you could almost say that I'm a 3rd generation, because my grandfather did corporate jewelry and class ring. So he had a franchise from the 30s on up. So
that's awesome. What a family heritage.
Yeah.
So when we're working with McDowell Incentives, this is a McDowell trilogy of heritage that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And apparently you work, you don't just do in state only. You've got but you're representing both coasts.
Yes, we've had business in, gosh, probably 20 states. There was a time where most of our business was out of state, and and the internet allows you to go anywhere and do anything. And a lot of our web-based programs that we run for people can easily be run, out of our world headquarters here in Oklahoma City.
World headquarters. Now, what type of, give me some ideas of things that you would come across a company who says, I need to promote. Is it like an event, or is there event promotions, or how does that work? What are some of the ideas?
Well, I think the two things there's really three ways we shine. One is we actually help people open doors a lot. Because if you think because you can actually put in direct mail into our quiver as well.
Okay.
But we just don't do a postcard. We can actually do a lumpy mail piece that actually tells a story. So if you need a story told, even especially if you've got a longer sales cycle, we've got a lot of ways that we can help you do that. Also, even though we're in the COVID world right now, trade shows, we've got great ways to get people to give you their information and to help you screen people that come to trade shows, because a lot of people that just go from booth to booth and dump stuff in a bag.
Right.
We like those people, but they're not going to be your client. We want to help you filter those that aren't going to be your client to the ones that are. So we can do clever little games. We've even got little apps you can use on your phone to help scan a card. If you give me your information, we'll give you a gift.
Like a raffle or some type of drawing.
Do a drawing. Yeah.
Nice.
Spin to wins,
Nice.
Little things like that. So if you're going to, because people invest tens of thousands of dollars to go to trade shows, and then a lot of times at the end of the day, you might have a whole fishbowl of cards that gets put on a shelf for a year that nobody ever goes through, and you don't know which one of those cards. Okay, that was a good lead. That's a bad lead. So
exactly.
We actually like to sit with a client and say, okay, what's your strategy here? Let's help filter out the people who are going to be buyers versus people who are just suspects. So we do that a lot. We've also got some products that for people that can't go to trade shows or don't have the staff to really, because people are really pared down their staff right now, or they're remote. So if you can't have that same trade show, we can have strategies to get in front of people to say, hey, we're still in business. We're doing the XYZ. And
so I mean, like you mentioned your competitors. I mean, what's a little bit different with working with you besides, maybe somebody that does something similar? What's a little bit different for you?
Okay. Yeah, I would say 90% of the people in the promotional industries are product driven. They will go door to door and say, hey, I've got this big, hairy, audacious pen. Isn't this neat? Wouldn't you like to buy it? Where we like to go to people and say, okay, what are we trying to accomplish? What are we, what differentiates you? How can we highlight that? So we like to start with the end in mind, and then we'll find the right product, the right media to promote that. So, and we are really big about trackability. And I don't think probably 95% of the people in our business aren't thinking about trackability of our items. So
okay,
we'll also add that to our strategy as well. So
now we're talking, I mean, obviously this is like, and I've had a little experience with this, obviously in my past, I've done some marketing as well. So it seems to me like nowadays we're the trackability function is probably on the digital side too, right? How are we putting together physical products with the digital world? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So some sort of, we may be driving to a specific landing page. We may have a specific Pearl or specific phone number per promotion. So we can track each promotion for what it is. And
And
we
so
can
you would
keep.
help set up a phone number, maybe like a separate number, separate vanity URL, for instance, things like that.
Yeah, yeah, we can
Nice.
do. We do anything from landing pages to phone numbers and all that kind of stuff. So, and we encourage that. Uh, so we try. So we encourage our customers to track everything we do to make sure. So we're going to track it ourselves. We encourage them to track us as well. So
Nice. And so, is there a particular industry you actually like to work in?
Um, gosh.
Any favorites in mind that possibly have given you some particular?
Well, our the financial arena is where I came from, so that's the one. It seems the one that I navigate to. So, banking, credit unions, financial planners. As a matter of fact, one of my best promotions ever was a financial planner uh, who wanted to get in front of $1 million plus clients. So we developed a full campaign to get in front of them and had about a 72% success rate. So,
Wow, that's great. That's
so,
great.
um, but we don't really discriminate. But that's just kind of where I started. Kind of when I got in the business, I went after banks and financial and insurance companies. We do a lot of healthcare related things. But gosh, there's so many more. There's so many more industries that have been invented since we
Well,
started. So
what's been the most unique industry you've ever worked with? What's been the most memorable client that you would think was you can't believe you worked with that client, or maybe they come to mind as something you've never worked with that client ever again?
um, gosh, that'd be tough because I've had so many.
I imagine. I mean, it's probably hard. I mean, if they're all
Yeah,
talking about 20 years worth.
right. Yeah. Um, it's interesting. It's kind of the industries that I've never been familiar with. Usually, so or had any inkling. But I just remember we deal with a lot of horse shows and things like that, and that's just a whole part of life I never even entertained before. And we dealt with a lot of people don't know that we have a very big horse trader construction industry here, as well as the horse industry period in the state. And I just didn't know how much money people were spending going to these shows, the kind of luxurious traders that they spend on these horses when they take them to shows was just amazing to me. So, but that just amazed me. So
Yeah.
I would say the horse industry always amazed me, and really industries that you never thought about would be big that ended up being big. I worked with a couple companies that developed apps that you thought, well, who would want to do that? And the app just exploded.
Wow.
So
Yeah. I mean, obviously, what you do, I mean, is very valuable for companies. I mean, I've always thought of it. I've got several friends that do some similar things, but it's an important industry. I mean, every industry has the need to market a product, brand themselves, because there's obviously two different things, two different activities, which is branding and marketing, and it sounds like you're putting those things together to where you can make a strategy and differentiate the service between a branding service and a marketing service.
well, and everything needs to fit together. Obviously, you come from the digital space yourself. Um, you know, you don't have your traditional brochures anymore. Your brochure is on the web, and it should be dynamic, and every conversation you should be having should be consistent across all media that you're using in your marketing mix. So I always say to people when they're creating a new brand, a new logo, I said, make sure your logo fits with all of these media, because there's going to be a part you're going to want to, maybe in a embroidered shirt or cap, you're going to want to maybe hot stamp a folder or a binder with your logo on it. So you've got to make sure it all fits. It can't just be look good on the web and on a letterhead. it's got to look, we're a business card. So,
Well, Kurt, looks like the last time we were at a meeting together, since we met at a networking function, you were looking at a magazine that was a backpacking magazine, and I want to know what does Kurt do in his spare time?
I laugh. My friends say, my vocation really interferes with my playtime, because I do like my playtime. But I am, well, I love racing sailboats. I've been doing that for probably 35 years. No, 40 years.
Oh,
I'm an avid cyclist. I cycle about 150 to 200 miles a week. I am an assistant scoutmaster with my son's scout troop, although, he just turned 18. So I don't know. They may kick me out at some point.
at some point.
But yeah, I love hiking, camping, backpacking. Actually, I was planning to do the John Muir Trail this summer, but they've really, it's a lottery system, and you've got to draw every January for the summer. So, but that's about 220 miles. So it takes about 2 weeks to hike. And that's starts in Yosemite in California, goes down. So it's a beautiful, beautiful hike. So I've been wanting to do that for about 10 or 15 years. So, but I want to do it before I'm too old.
Right.
Obviously. So, but I've got 2 or 3 hikes like that I want to do, that my brother and I want to do. And he's 2 years older than I am. So he'll be getting, he'll be hitting the wall before I do. So,
wow.
But I also, let's see what else. I teach a Bible study on Monday nights,
okay,
and for kids, and occasionally I will golf.
That's fascinating, Kurt. I mean, it's been, just to wrap up, and it's been a very good time visiting with you. Obviously, I hope the people who had a chance to watch, get an idea of what you do, not only what you do, but who you are, why you do what you do. So important that, in today's age, everybody understands that there's a person behind the brand, and there's a value behind working with someone. Just to wrap things up, how can somebody get a hold of you, and what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, my email is km@mincent.com. That's my shortened version. So that's km@mincent.com. Or they can call my cell at 405-740-1417. And I'd be happy to answer any questions they have. So,
Kurt, any parting words of wisdom?
Well, I can go anywhere with it.
You can go anywhere, because I was told you might.
Yeah, well, I'm the prince of the pun, so I sometimes I don't know. I'd say, so our motto here is, business goes where it's asked and stays where it's appreciated. And we're a company that helps you ask and appreciate your customers and clients and employees. So think of us for that.
Good parting words of wisdom, Kurt. I appreciate you coming on the show, and the time was well spent.
Thanks, Oscar. Appreciate you a lot.
You
Thanks.
bet.